Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Today, we'll be taking a look at some of the lesser well-known mysteries surrounding the castle and grounds of Hogwarts School. But what's truly unique about today's video is that we'll be looking at this topic with visual accompaniment from the much-anticipated Harry Potter game, Hogwarts Legacy, which is now available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. But before we get started, I want to say a big thank you to Warner Bros. Games for sponsoring this video and making all of this possible. Hogwarts Legacy dives into the wizarding world in a time period that we've never seen before, the 1800s. And it's through this game that Harry Potter fans will be able to navigate the wizarding world we love so much through a bit of a different lens. In Hogwarts Legacy, our character will experience the life of a Hogwarts student firsthand, living the unwritten and embarking on a dangerous journey to uncover a massive hidden truth of the 1800s wizarding world. Developed by Avalanche Software and published by Warner Bros. Games under the Quay Games label, Hogwarts Legacy introduces an original story that gives us the freedom to embark on our own wizarding world adventure, paving our own path and uncovering new territory, all in the pursuit of uncovering this magical world's hidden truth. But until you play the game, this hidden truth is going to remain a mystery. Which brings us back to the topic of today's video, mysteries. Particularly, mysteries pertaining to the Hogwarts Castle. Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry was founded sometime in the 10th century by four of the greatest witches and wizards of the time. They were, of course, Godric Gryffindor, Rowena Ravenclaw, Helga Hufflepuff, and Salazar Slytherin. You'll no doubt recognize each of these names as the sources of the great houses within Hogwarts. However, in addition to these four, it is also believed that there may have been a fifth wizard involved in the construction of the castle, the man responsible for the design and building of the great school, only known as the architect. In fact, this unnamed architect could be the reason that there are so many mysteries and secrets abounding throughout the castle. In terms of its architectural structure, the school is much like any castle. It is said to have around 24 towers in all, with 12 larger, more prominent ones, and 12 smaller, lesser-known towers. The Astronomy Tower, which was the site of Headmaster Albus Dumbledore's death, is the tallest of the towers, whereas the Dark Tower on the 7th floor is among the most mysterious. The castle is 7 stories tall, with approximately 142 staircases within. According to Dumbledore, there was neither a living nor dead soul in the world who knew all the secrets of the castle. So with that in mind, let's get to the mysteries that we'll be unveiling today. Number 1. The location. Of course, we know that Hogwarts is somewhere in Scotland, but it would appear that no one ever discusses the exact location. The reason for this is that the castle was placed under many spells and enchantments by the founders in an effort to ward off unfriendly muggles, which is why someone without magic only sees ruins and signs, deterring them from entering. As you can imagine, the 10th century, when the castle was founded, was not the best time to be a witch or wizard. This is likely why the location is unplottable, meaning that it cannot be identified or pinpointed on a map. This may also explain why the children are not dropped off directly at the castle, but rather are shuttled in by the Hogwarts Express to Hogsmeade. It's also worth noting that witches and wizards are unable to apparate or disapparate within Hogwarts. In addition to a layer of protection for the students, could this simply be because no one knows its exact coordinates? 2. The castle appears to be alive and sentient. This mystery is a bit of a tricky one to explain because, of course, there are many enchantments and charms placed upon and within the castle. These spells in themselves do nothing to prove that Hogwarts Castle is actually alive. For example, the Great Hall showcases a few of these wonderful charms, none of which prove sentience. The ceiling mirrors the sky above, and the tables tend to change their order and arrangements. There's also the bit of fun to be had by way of the charm at the entrance for Hufflepuff's common room. Here, you must tap a specific barrel in a particular way in order to gain admittance. If you get it wrong, you get soaked in vinegar. But some of the enchantments seem to be more like active choices made by the castle itself. The most obvious example would be the staircases and how they move at will. But don't you find it odd that they always seem to choose the perfect moment when a student, often a first year, is climbing them? Could this perhaps be the stairs playing a joke? Number 3. There are more secret passages in hidden rooms than we know. It's fairly safe to say that the secret passages and hidden rooms that we know of only scratch the surface of what's concealed within the hallowed halls of Hogwarts. What we do know is that there are 8 secret passages that lead in and out of Hogwarts that are mentioned throughout the series. Only 7 of these were shown on the Marauders map, including one that had caved in, the one under the Whomping Willow, and the one under the statue of the Humpbacked Witch. The 8th was later created by Draco Malfoy through the Room of Requirement. Speaking of, the Room of Requirement can hardly be classified as a mystery, but have you heard of the hidden room known as the Room of Rewards? This is yet another secret space at Hogwarts, which apparently records students' accomplishments. The entrance can be found on the Grand Staircase, behind a portrait of Vindictus Viridian. 4. There is a Book of Admittance and Quill of Acceptance. Apparently, the only system of admittance Hogwarts has ever used is an ancient magical book and a quill, known as the Book of Admittance and the Quill of Acceptance. The story goes that if the quill has written a child's name in the book, they are sent a letter of acceptance to the school at the age of 11. No questions asked. Every birth of a magical child or muggle child who shows magical ability is said to be recorded into the book by the quill. The book and quill are strictly kept within a locked tower of Hogwarts. The book is bound by the hide of a black dragon, and evidently no human has laid hands on it since the 4 founders of Hogwarts placed it there. 5. The school motto. As you may recall in some of my previous videos, the motto for Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry is a rather confounding one. The motto, Draco dormian nanquam titilandus, is Latin for never tickle a sleeping dragon. Of course, to a muggle, who is used to school mottos being quite prestigious, and, let's admit, a little bit stuffy, this seems a rather odd saying for such a world-renowned school. However, it does seem ever so fitting that Hogwarts' motto would be humorous but practical. And with that, we've come to the end of another video. Thanks again to Warner Bros. Games for sponsoring this video, and be sure to check out Hogwarts Legacy, now available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and PC. To pick up a copy, use my link in the description box below. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.